What would you do if the woman you loved, the one you built a life with, was secretly poisoning you? Not with malice, but with a casual disregard that spoke volumes about her betrayal. The night everything broke was a Tuesday, 2 a.m., the glow of my phone screen illuminating a text message I was never meant to see. It wasn't from a friend, but from a number I didn't recognize. A message to my wife, Sarah, detailing a weekend getaway to Miami, complete with flight numbers and a hotel booking. At the settee on Collins Avenue, my heart didn't just sink. It shattered, a silent explosion in the quiet of our Los Angeles home. But it wasn't the affair that truly chilled me to the bone. It was the casual mention of my allergy to shellfish. An allergy I'd never had, a lie she'd woven into her narrative to explain my absence from their illicit dinners. The air in our bedroom, usually thick with the scent of her lavender perfume, suddenly reeked of deceit. And I knew, with a terrifying certainty, that my life was about to become a battlefield. If you genuinely enjoy our stories, please subscribe to the channel. Tell us where you're from and what time it is right now. It's always fascinating to know how far our story flows. Sarah and I had been married for 8 years. 8 years of building a life, a home in the Hollywood Hills, dreams of children. I was a software engineer. She was a marketing executive. We had a good life, or so I thought. The first crack appeared subtly, a shift in her routine. Late nights at the office became more frequent, her phone always face down. A new guardedness in her eyes. I dismissed it as work stress, the demands of her high-pressure job. I was a fool. The humiliation began to seep in, a slow, corrosive acid. I started noticing things. The way she'd flinch if I reached for her phone. A sudden, almost aggressive defensiveness when I'd ask about her day. One evening, while she was in the shower, her phone buzzed with a notification. It was a text from Alex, a name I didn't recognize. "Can't wait for our next business trip to New York? That little Italian place on Mulberry Street was divine." My stomach dropped. Mulberry Street. I remembered her mentioning a client dinner there just weeks ago. The slow discovery was agonizing. I became a ghost in my own home, watching, listening. I found receipts for expensive dinners at places like Per Se in New York or Nobu in Malibu, always for two. Always on nights, she claimed to be working late or with girlfriends. Her credit card statements showed charges for luxury boutiques. In Dallas, places she'd never mentioned visiting, the phone calls she'd take in hushed tones, stepping out onto the balcony, her back to me. Each piece of evidence was a shard of glass, piercing my heart. Sarah, meanwhile, grew colder, more manipulative. She'd gaslight me, accusing me of being paranoid, insecure. "You're imagining things, Mark. You're stressed." She'd turn my concerns into my flaws, making me doubt my own sanity. She became untouchable, radiating an arrogance that only someone convinced of their own cleverness could possess. Her affair partner, Alex, a smug, self-satisfied man I later discovered was a rival executive, seemed to fuel her audacity. They believed they were invincible, their secret perfectly hidden. I broke down emotionally. I'd sit in our living room, staring out at the twinkling lights of Los Angeles, feeling utterly hollowed out. The man I was, the husband I thought I was gone. In his place was a shell, filled with a burning, icy rage. But beneath the despair, a new resolve began to harden. I wouldn't just leave. I would dismantle her. Piece by piece. I began to secretly gather proof. I installed discreet cameras in our home, not to catch her in the act, but to document her comings and goings, her secretive phone calls. I hired a private investigator, a quiet, efficient man named Frank from a firm in downtown LA, who tracked her movements. Photographed her with Alex at the Beverly Wilshire Hotel, and even managed to retrieve deleted texts. From her old phone, the allergy lie became a central piece of my puzzle. I had never been allergic to shellfish. It was a fabrication, a convenient excuse to explain why I wouldn't be joining her on certain trips or dinners. This wasn't just infidelity. It was a calculated deception, a pattern of lies that could be used to demonstrate a lack of character and premeditation. With Frank's help, I set legal and social traps. I consulted with a top divorce attorney in Century City, a woman known for her ruthless efficiency. We meticulously documented every expense, every lie, every instance of emotional distress she caused, I also started subtly leaking information to key figures in her professional circle, anonymous tips about her unethical conduct. In questionable judgment that hinted at a deeper moral failing, I didn't accuse her of the affair directly, but rather painted a picture of someone untrustworthy and deceitful. The public exposure happened swiftly and brutally. My attorney filed for divorce, citing irreconcilable differences and marital misconduct. The evidence, including the allergy lie, was presented in court. The judge, a stern woman in downtown LA, listened impassively as the details of Sarah's deception unfolded. Simultaneously, the whispers I'd started in her professional world turned into a roar. A major client, alerted to her unethical behavior, pulled out of a lucrative deal, citing a loss of trust. Her company, facing a PR nightmare, quietly let her go. Sarah went pale when the allergy lie was revealed in court. Her face, usually so composed, crumpled. The smugness vanished, replaced by a raw, desperate fear. She tried to deny it, to spin it, but the evidence was overwhelming. The texts, the receipts, the photographs, they painted a picture of a woman who had systematically lied and betrayed us. Her career was in tatters, her reputation destroyed. Her friends, many of whom I had subtly informed of her true character, distanced themselves. Alex, the smug affair partner, vanished, unwilling to face the fallout. I saw her once more, months later in a coffee shop near Santa Monica Boulevard. She was alone, her once vibrant eyes dull, her expensive clothes looking tired. She saw me, and for a moment, a flicker of something anger, regret, crossed her face. But she said nothing, just looked away, a ghost of the woman I once knew. The silence that followed was deafening, a cold, empty space where a life once thrived.